Much love and appreciation, family. So, for all of the brand new men's and women's shirts that you see and the limited edition sneakers that you see here, please visit the comment and or the description below the video. Thank you.
Hey guys, Agroplasma says using the N-word obviously doesn't represent either their values or their ethics.
Am I sitting in the back?
No. Yeah, I don't like to sit there.
That simple request led to this.
Sir, please leave my vehicle.
Well, honestly, I'm here. I'm sitting
Sir,
here in the back
please
seat.
leave my vehicle.
Is that because I'm white?
No, sir.
You're a
Oh man, this is good.
Yes,
That's
yes,
two
yes.
Dashcams.
That
I was initially shocked and I felt bad, but I almost wanted to laugh.
The driver, Randy Clark, says he doesn't allow passengers in the front seat unless there are at least 3 people, all because of what happened to him in October of 2018.
Because I have been sexually assaulted before by a passenger.
He has signs in his Uber, but it didn't prevent the passenger's tirade.
is that because I'm white?
No, sir.
You
And that passenger is Hans Berglund, CEO of Agroplasma, a Tempe company that makes fertilizer. Berglund's job as CEO now hangs in the balance as he's been relieved of his duties pending an investigation. In a statement to 12 News earlier this week, Berglund said, quote, "I had a couple of drinks. That was not very smart. I apologize to the guy. I shouldn't have said what I said."
I initially accepted, however, I wish to rescind it. There was no sincerity associated with it. It's more like an apology he made just so he could, cover his tracks.
Clark is now asking the city of Tempe and Uber to step in, making sure Berglund can never use the rideshare service again.
Oh, thank you so much. You got a camera.
Now, just before the show today, we did receive a comment from Uber saying that Mr. Berglund no longer has access to the app. We also did reach out to Mr. Berglund, but he says that he was not going to comment because that's what his lawyer said. And when we reached out to his lawyers, well, they did not respond to our questions.
Am I sitting in the back?
No. Yeah, I don't like to sit there.
I don't like when people sit in the front.
I cannot sit there.
I don't like when people sit in the front.
Then
I'm
I'm
sorry.
gonna order something else.
All right, sounds good.
So cancel it. Okay?
We'll do. Thank you.
No, are you fucking serious with me?
No, I don't like when people sit in the front, period. I'll cancel and refund you.
Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna ride in the back and I'm gonna file a complaint, okay? I have the right to make my own option.
I am an independent contractor and I have a right to deny this ride.
Good. So let's take a discussion
No,
about that.
please leave my vehicle.
Yes. No. We'll take a look at this later. Come on.
No, please,
tequila.
sir, please leave my vehicle. I canceled your
Well,
ride.
honestly, I'm here. I'm sitting
Sir,
here in the back
please
seat.
leave my vehicle.
Is that because I'm white?
No, sir.
You're
It's
a
not
fucking
because
nigger?
you're white.
You're a fucking...
Oh
unbelievable.
man, this is good because I have two dash cams.
That fucking unbelievable. Screw you, you idiot.
Oh, thank you so much. You got my camera. Whoo-hoo, this is good. This is perfect.
It's been ruined.
They want a meeting, Katie and Steve. Neither side knows what that looks like just yet, but pretty soon the men could be face to face yet again after an interaction that lasted roughly a minute, but changed both their lives. Hans Berglund was the founder of a successful company last week. Now,
I don't have anything to do with the company anymore. I'm fired.
all because of an Uber trip, where the driver asked Hans to sit in the back.
Are you serious with me?
No, I don't like when people sit in the front, period. I'll cancel and refund you.
The ASU senior Randy Clark canceled the trip, but Hans still hopped in.
I'm here. I'm sitting
Sir,
here in the back
please
seat.
leave my vehicle.
Is that because I'm white?
No, sir.
You're
It's not-
You're a
Oh man.
so blown out of proportion, and it's ruined my life. It's ruined my company.
I think Agroplasma took one step in the right direction. I think there's much more to be done.
Hans tells me the racial slur is not who he is. Randy, though, isn't so sure.
I think he's been getting away with such or similar language for a long time.
Using that word came very naturally to him.
Randy now asking the Attorney General's office and City of Tempe to investigate a possible civil rights violation.
I think a lot of Uber drivers who look like me have experienced this.
For Randy, it was a racial slur he thought was a thing of the past. For Hans, it made his life last week a thing of the past.
Such a sad story. You have no idea what has happened here.
I don't want his life to be ruined, but this man should not be in a position of power.
Now, talking with Hans tonight, it was clear he was hurting and extremely upset. But Katie, it was also clear in a way that Hans viewed himself as a victim of all of the online backlash.
Yeah, or he could take this time to explore why something like that would come out of his mouth at this time. Zach, thank you.
All right, so I want you guys to pay very close attention to this here. Now, normally whenever things like this come up, a lot of the naysayers are like, oh, well, black people are always talking about race. Black people are always the first ones to bring up race. Why does everything have to be about race? Well, Hans, who was the CEO, decided that he wanted to try to play reverse racism because the black man clearly stated that the reason that he does not allow single passengers to sit in the front seat was due to the fact that previously he was sexually assaulted in his own car while driving Uber. So this is why he had a sticker printed out that was directly near within a line of sight that you can clearly see, and it states that if there is a party of 3, that is the only time that a person can sit in the front seat. Hans did not want to read, or maybe he couldn't read. And he decided that he wanted to get irate and racist due to the fact that his white privilege could not afford him a seat in the front of a black man's vehicle. So what he decided to do in his privilege, he was like, you know what? It's fine. I'll still take the ride. I'll sit in the back. But what I'm going to do is I'm also going to write a report on you. And the black man kindly said, well, since you're going to write a report, then you might as well not even get in the car and you can call you a different Uber. And then out of everything stupid that could have potentially happened, Hans decided to say, what? Is it because I'm white? Where did that even come from? Who even mentioned anything about race? The black man could obviously see that this is a Caucasian European. Obviously. But Hans, the white man, decided that he wanted to bring race into the scenario as if this was going to benefit him somehow. He was like, is it because I'm white? He was like, oh, okay, then you're just... And then he wants to drop the N-word. Like I said before, when you have people who are racist and they're drunk, those are some of the best videos that you can potentially see because you're seeing that person in their natural habitat. When you go back and you listen to Hans, the words that he used and how it just smoothly came directly and just rolled off his tongue, that's something that is inherent. That's something that comes natural to a person like him, to a European like him, who both decided to bring up race, tried to use the race card, reverse racism, and then at the end of it, wanted to be racist. How does that work? But yet, this is the mind frame of a lot of white people that are out here. And then after the video was put on social media and his job, it went back and it reached his job like most of these videos do. He was fired. And then when a reporter decided to actually get an interview with him after he said before that he didn't want to speak due to the fact that that's what his lawyer told him not to do, he decided to come on and say like, hey, this has ruined my life. It has drastically changed my life. You just have, no idea. Well, that was your fault. Obviously, you had some idea, but you just didn't see the future of it when you decided to make that racist statement and show the world exactly who you are. And because you did that, you have some people in the world that wanted to say, like, well, you did represent this company and now you don't. You had another company that said, you know what, since you wanted to be racist and you did this to one of the people that work for us, we are going to make sure that you will never be able to use, our app ever again to call an Uber ride, just to make sure that this will never again happen on our watch. You had two companies that did the exact right thing. And the one thing that before I leave off, I want to say this about the young brother, Mr. Clark. I just want him to stand firm and to know that the power is his. When he aired this video, he knew that this was going to have an everlasting effect, that this was going to leave a mark on this man's life because of how he decided that he wanted to go about it and how he wanted to try to affect another black man. And I want him just to stay strong on the fact of knowing that it's not about you feeling that, oh, I don't want to, ruin his life. You didn't do it. You were doing your job every single day. He ruined his own life by opening up his mouth. Instead of leaving all of that at home with, his white friends, his white dog, his white horse, his white house, instead of leaving that there, he decided that he wanted to take that from in-house outside. Like I said, it's not your fault at all. You're doing what needs to be done. And the world is going to take care of the rest.